Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I've been gone about 4 months. Thanks for waiting. Lots has happened. Today, we're going to talk about where I've been, what I've been doing, the things that I've missed, mainly the two big elections, and what we're going to do for the channel this year. So we kept the videos going out on this channel until about the end of August, but I actually went away just before the end of June, which was just before the election here in the UK. And I went away just before the election on purpose, to be honest, because it was very obvious before the election that Labour would win, and Labour would win by quite a significant margin. And some people who watch this channel and see me supporting wealth taxes and increased tax on the rich and trying to reduce inequality might have assumed that I was some big Labour supporter. But in reality, I think it was clear and has been clear for quite a while that it's very unlikely Labour are going to do anything significant on inequality or wealth tax or tax on super rich. And for that reason, the election was a little bit depressing for me. And I was getting quite down, to be honest, coming into the election, because I'd been expecting the election to be in sort of November. It came in June. And I felt at the time like we're not big enough to put any pressure on the government or on the incoming government. They're not going to offer us anything. They're not going to give us anything. And it was just quite depressing to see, after sort of working really hard on this channel for a long time, that it's going to be another 5 years, another government that are probably not going to give us anything. And I think in a sense, it was easier emotionally in a way when we had these kind of comedy villains in charge of the country, you know, Rishi Sunak, son-in-law of one of the richest men in the world, Boris Johnson, David Cameron, Liz Truss, George Osborne, these guys that look like bad guys in a Disney film. Because when you have these kind of obvious villains in charge, it's very easy to point your finger at these guys and say, these guys are the bad guys. Let's give these guys a good kicking. Let's kick them out and then let's change things. But the truth is, and it is obvious now, that the problem is and always was deeper than that. And it is made obvious by the fact that the Labour government have come in. And if you saw my video on the election before I went away, I said very clearly in that video, we will get a new Labour government, they will get a big mandate, they will get a big majority despite being unpopular, and they will fail on inequality, which means they will fail on the economy, and they will be very unpopular very quickly. And that, at this point, is kind of obviously true. What it makes clear is that the problem is bigger than left or right. The problem is bigger than Labour or Conservative. We have a problem in this country, but it's not only in this country, and I think the situation in America and in many other countries proves this problem goes way, way beyond just the UK. There is a problem of a broad consensus of economists, but also of these kind of semi-idiotic upper middle class, elite university, academics and intellectuals and elites that are simply very, very unwilling to even talk about inequality as part of the problem. And they want to talk about things like economic growth and efficiency and increasing GDP and pulling our socks up and all working a bit harder. All the while, wealth absolutely floods to the rich and the super rich, and nobody seems to fix that problem. So, yeah, it was a bit depressing going away. Well, it was a bit depressing seeing the election come in and just knowing the problem is way bigger than one election. The problem is way bigger than just winning. We're just kicking a party out of government. It's very easy to kick a party out of government, but it's much harder to fix a problem. So I went away to sort of sit down and have a think about what can we do? What can we do to fight this? Because the truth is we are going to have 5 years of Labour government now. And I hope that I'm wrong on this. And I want to make it clear before I say what I was about to say. I don't think that the Labour government is full of corrupt villains. There's probably one or two in there. Some of these guys want to do the best thing for their country, and despite that, the fact is I really don't think we're going to get anything from them. So what do we do? What can we do? What do you do when you live in a two-party political system And both parties are absolutely incapable of recognizing an enormous gaping hole in the bottom of the economy that just grows and grows day after day. And that's what I went away to think about, basically. What can we do? What can I do? What can you do? And also, to be honest, just to get a bit of a rest. It's been a mad year. The growth of the channel has been insane. I get recognized 6-7 times a day. I get tons of emails from loads of people who want to help, people who want to work for us, people who want to do stuff. And I get so many messages that it's not even possible for me to basically read all the messages. And people stop me in the street and they say, we're counting on you to do something. We believe you can do something. And it's hard when people say that, when my honest assessment of the situation is it's just going to get worse. So I needed to take a bit of time away, basically, to figure out what can we do? Can we do anything? Just clear my head, basically. But now we're back. We're going to be back with weekly videos, and we're going to try, whether we succeed or not, I don't know. We're going to try to get into a situation where we can change things. And the channel's grown a lot, which genuinely gives us a little bit of political power, but it's not enough. The truth is, if we want to really impact change here, we need to be bigger. And this is the kind of thing which I've been rolling around in my head, because the truth is, even the level of kind of fame and scrutiny and attention that I get now sometimes makes me uncomfortable. But if we want to have a political impact and we want to stop this from getting worse and worse, we need to be much bigger. We need to be much bigger. Channel needs to be much bigger. So I honestly think there is a massive gap in our media for just communicating economics in an ordinary, simple, plain speaking, understandable way to ordinary people. I think that 80-90% of people in this country don't have any economic communicator that is communicating to them on the news what's happening in a way they understand. Never mind the way that is welcoming and accessible. And I think in a world where the economy has gotten massively worse and will continue to get worse, and living standards will continue to get worse for ordinary people, and there is continuing financial insecurity, people want that. People want somebody who can explain what's happening in a way that is clear and in a way that makes sense to them. And I think that is the reason why the channel has grown so much, with very few people working on it. We've never had even a single member of full-time staff on this channel. It's including full-time paid staff, it's including me. With no full-time paid staff, with very, very little funding, we've managed to build this channel up to more than 500,000 subs now, and it's grown something like 6 or 7 or 8 times in the last year. And it's not going to grow 8 times every year, but if we can keep growing at anything like that speed, then maybe we can get a little bit of political influence. Labour are already very unpopular. There's a degree to which they won't care about that at the moment, because there's not going to be another election for 4.5 years. 2-3 years down the line, when they're still very unpopular, and when it starts to become clear that you cannot improve the economy when it starts to become clear to them that what they're doing is not working, politically they will have to have a rebrand. They will have to have a rebrand, they will have to have a new offer. I have to try to get this channel to a position where the obvious common sense amongst the public is you need to deal with inequality and you need to do what Gary's economics says, and I know maybe that sounds egotistical, but what else can I do here? The thing is going to collapse. It's going to get worse. There's going to be really broad poverty. Labour are not going to stop it. We need to raise the voice. We need to raise the voice. So I have to think about what can we do to grow the channel. And this year we are going to get another big publicity campaign from Penguin. The paperback of the book is coming out, and I've just received it from in the mail by courier, so I'll open it and show it to you, the new cover at the end of the video. We have to try to grasp that and to grow it. We're going to be doing a public tour around the country, so hopefully some of you will get a chance to meet me and ask me whatever questions you have. We have to try and take that and run with it. But what that means is we have to professionalize the channel, basically. I don't think we have a choice. if we are going to be politically powerful, we need staff, and I need staff. I just don't think there's any way that I can cope with making it significantly bigger than it is without any full-time staff, basically. And that means we are going to need funding, and that means that we are going to open a Patreon. I spoke about it just before I went away. We're going to open a Patreon, and we're going to see what we get. And, you know, I don't know whether we'll get a lot. I don't know whether we'll get a little, but if we want to be politically powerful down the line, we're going to need staff. And if we need staff, we're going to need funding. Just help support me and help us to get a little bit more ambitious and diverse with the creativity of what we do. Help us to work with different creatives. Help us to get different people on the channel. So it's not just like me every week in my no-face hoodie. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to open a Patreon. We're going to put a list of like prices in there. So I think we're going to do £5 a month to £20 a month. I want to make clear right now, we're never going to paywall these videos. The Patreon doesn't mean like you need to pay to watch the channel. We're never going to do that. I think I'll write a newsletter and I'll do like a video Q&A once a month for people on the Patreon. But that Patreon is going to be there so that we can fund staff, fund these videos, and these videos will always be free and open to the public. But we just have to do it. Like it's difficult for me to run this thing without any full-time staff, and I'm very grateful for the guys who do help me. We've got a part-time manager, we've got Jack here doing the camera, but we're gonna need more if we're gonna be serious. And I don't know if it'll work. You know, maybe we won't get enough money for staff, and maybe we won't be able to expand it, and then probably we'll never be able to have a massive political impact. But either way, I'll keep making the videos. But it's kind of, I need to see whether we have a shot to have an impact here. I think I have responsibility to myself and to the country to see if I can. And I'm not saying I'm going to change it by myself, but if we get a bit of funding, we can maybe make a proper like professional organization here that can just help me grow it, help me make more cool videos, and help me feel more supported and have a good run. So that's what we're going to do. So I've been thinking about this while I was away. Some of you might want to know about my time in Japan. I know my time in Japan was amazing. It was really, really hot. I cycled from Tokyo to Kagoshima. But I've been back a few months actually. I got back around about the end of August. I've been working on basically setting up a company because I don't want the Patreon money to come to me. I want it to go into a company that we can release the accounts. And you can see that none of the Patreon money goes to me. All of the Patreon money will always be used to cover cost of the channel. The plan at the moment is I won't start using the Patreon money immediately as it comes in. We'll start to like pull it a little bit there so we can see basically how much we're getting, and then we can figure out like what can we do? Can we get a full-time staff member? Can we get a couple? And basically try and figure out like how much income we have and what we can do with it. But don't expect to see any massive changes like imminently. It's just a question of just professionalizing it. You know, I look at sort of what we have achieved this year with the growth. A big part of the reason we've grown so much this year is because we've had a professional publicist from Penguin working to publicize the channel. She's been amazing. I won't mention her name because I don't know if she wants me to mention her, but she's been great. And you know, the whole team at Penguin have been great, but the massive growth from last year is because we've had a publicist, right? And the publicist ultimately doesn't work for the YouTube or the political project. She works for the book. And you know, the book is amazing. I encourage you to buy the book. The paperback is coming out in Jan. So the paperback will be, if you were waiting for the book to be a bit cheaper, that's going to come out in Jan 30th. And I think that's going to be something like 11 or 12 pounds maybe, but much cheaper than the hardback. That will come out. We'll get a big publicity campaign. But at some point, you know, Penguin are going to stop publicizing us. And we need to have somebody who works for the channel to help us publicize. And we need someone who helps us to like YouTube optimize. And we need someone who just helps us make banging videos week after week, basically. But yes, the thing I wanted to make clear is we're going to set up a company and all of the Patreon money will go to the company. None of it will come to me. It's not going to be used to pay me. I'm not going to take a salary. The Patreon money will always be ring fenced for supporting production of content, and if we get enough, ultimately trying to push a bit of a political project, trying to grow it as a political project, trying to put pressure on politicians in the long run, but basically trying to achieve something rather than just making videos. But we will keep making videos and good videos. And I would also, if we get enough, like to be able to support some other creatives to help make good stuff. Like I've been making a video with a friend of mine called Stefan, and I think that's really good, and we're going to put that on the channel. He's a filmmaker. But yeah, make better content, make more frequent content, be more effective, grow quicker. But also importantly to help me feel more supported, because I do find it difficult making these videos. I do find the kind of a level of fame I get difficult. But look, you know, I put this off for a long time because I know there's going to be like some people that kick back, oh, this guy's trying to make money. I'm not going to take the money from the Patreon. You know, we've never put adverts in these videos because I'm not in this to make money. I'm in this to try and educate people about what's happening. If we don't do anything, this gets worse. But we can do something. I think if we provide a space where the public can come and be educated in a way that is clear about what is happening, people can understand the reason for their worsening living conditions is growing inequality. And if people understand that, they will feel empowered to fight against it. There's tons of more things I can say about that, and we will say them, but this video is getting long. But listen, nobody has to subscribe to Patreon. Like, these videos will be here like they've always been, and they'll be free like they've always been. Watch the videos, understand the videos, share them and support them. Share them with your friends, share them with your family. I'm not putting no pressure on nobody. If we want to grow this, we are going to need staff. And if we're going to need staff, we're going to need funding. The funding is not going to go to me, it's going to go to staff. But I'm back. I'll keep making weekly videos for as long as I can. Last year I took a break of 6 months, and when I came back, the views were like higher than before I went away. And I was quite emotional about that, to be honest, because I find it difficult making weekly videos. Like, I'm not really like, you know, my background is maths and economics. I'm not like a creative, and it stresses me out trying to do like new videos every week, and I don't like talking to camera. But the fact that people were still there after 6 months really made me feel like I was being supported to take the time out that I need. And it made me feel that I can stick around in the long term. People who read my book will know that I've had difficulties in the past with my mental health. And I don't like being attacked in the newspapers. But this is important and it's worth it. So I'll keep doing it. Thank you for your support. Happy New Year.
Book.
Oh yeah. Oh my days. So I got the new paperback, and you guys are going to love the cover. Good that Jack reminded me, otherwise Penguin would have chopped my balls off. So we're doing an unboxing here. We're going to keep this and put it on my first ASMR video. This is the paperback. I think it's 11 or 12 pounds. I probably should have asked. Anyway, there you go. You got that focus on that, all right? So they put my face on the cover, which, as you can see, it's beautiful, and I'm delighted about. I was a little bit concerned about this, because obviously this will be in the window of like every bookshop in the country with my face on the cover. But at the end of the day, that's going to help us grow the channel, and it's going to help us grow the political project, and I think it's important. And I'm really proud of this book, and this book has helped us grow massively this year. Well, yeah, last year. Yeah, I would recommend it. It's probably the thing that I'm most proud of, I think I've done in my life, really. But yeah, this is the book. Thanks to Penguin. Thanks for all your support. And yeah, look, we're not going to grow 8 times every year, but if we can keep growing anything like what we've been growing, then they'll have to listen to us sooner or later. So yeah, thanks for your help. Good luck.